Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to TCS eSports League. Last week, we closed out the first half of league play, and today we move into our 8th week. My name is Switchblade Jay, and joining me, as he always does, is Digital Bacon. We've got the week of rematches, because last week, all the same matches are going to take place, but basically in reverse, and we're going to go from there right the way back to week 1 and have 2 matches apiece between all the teams. So there's lots of hype, of course, a lot of much praise format over the course of the last few months. So first off, Bacon, how have you been?
Yeah, been good. It's been a great week, a busy week. Not only doing the Renegade Cup action, but of course preparing for this, because now we're into the second leg, Jay, and this is where a lot of these teams can go back, watch over those VODs, see where they went wrong, and learn from it. That also meant that, had to go back myself, have a little check-up, and prepare for what is to come in the second half of this league as we close out this month and next, and then lead on into December for those LAN finals.
Yeah, every team that got upset in the first half will have their chance to redeem themselves, especially from last week. Although, I'll be fair, last week pretty much was the expected results, unfortunately. And unfortunately, for most of our predictions this week, we have kind of gone with the exact same thing. So, let's just kick things off with our first match of the day. It's going to be Swiss Incredible Rebels taking on the E-LVETS. This is a match that went 3-0 to Sir. And I will admit, E-LVETS did take a close couple of scorelines, particularly there was that 3-5 on Beckwith Park. But other than that, really kind of an expected result. We kind of expected Swiss Incredible Rebels to do well. They were the team that were known and notorious for being undefeated in every manner of form. And in this case, particularly today, considering how much of a blowout that last match was, unfortunately, I just kind of have to lean towards the favor of them on it.
Yeah, Swiss Incredible Rebels so far have only lost to Lausanne, which is sort of like the gimme team for everyone. And Arctic playing absolutely nuts. It was actually a week where both teams played with a sub, and it just seemed like Arctic's sub was so much stronger. It was actually Yagi coming on through for them, and he's been performing pretty well. Coming into this week, we're expecting, like you said, Jay, more of the same. E-LVETS did turn it up in roughly halfway through the second game where they started performing, hence getting that 5-3, and then I think the last game went to overtime. Unfortunately, E-LVETS losing there. And E-LVETS now, if they've done their research, gone over that last week's match, they should be able to formulate a plan. There is nothing stopping them getting the win here apart from, near enough, not being prepared. And that's where it's going to come down for me today. We've got a lot of teams that could cause upsets. Example A, E-LVETS going up against Sir, where if they've done the research, they've done the prep, figured out what their opponents play like, they're going to be able to come out with a win. I'm going to be saying that later on again, because when we've got teams like Lausanne and Monks, who it was a very similar case, Monks taking Lausanne to overtime in game number 3, you're there going, okay, Monks could do it if they put the work in. And now we're coming to crunch time of the league, sort of that halfway mark. We've already got some teams with 6 wins, 1 losses. That's near enough in a lot of cases for teams like Lausanne and Servette, securing themselves on paper anyway, because they should get the wins to stay into top 4. But for the lower teams, with Masters, Silent Gaming and E-LVETS, all with 2 wins, 5 losses. These wins now, they've got to start coming on in, because they got to be scared to end up in the bottom 4.
Yeah, this is really the point where our standings are going to solidify. Nothing is completely set in stone just yet. Obviously, that's the case. We've still got a number of league play days where, we're still 8 out of 14. So even after this week, there's still 6 in total. So there's lots more breathing room when it comes to that. But still, this is where some of the results are going to start to turn up. And for teams like, the Monks, who are still very, very low in those rankings, for other teams who are still trying to make their way up, this next half of the season is going to be a little bit more down to the wire on it. So again, we'll have to see how things turn out. But for this match in particular, I want to ask you a prediction real quick. Are you going with history? Are you going to be with the Sir side, or do you think E-LVETS?
I reckon it's got to be Sir in this. Even though I'm saying that E-LVETS, if they put the work in, they can do it, which is very true. Sir themselves are a clever roster. They're a team that had come into league play sort of underestimated. Not many people knowing of them, especially us, coming in as the sort of jokey team of Raptors boosted. They got picked up by Team Sir, and they have proven that they are a top 4 team caliber, a top half, and arguably top 3. They could be even punching for top 2. It all comes down to the seeding, of course, because that LAN environment, that LAN that happens, I think it's the 16th of December, Jay. I'm check my dates on that later on. We'll correct ourselves. But of course, getting that seed in top 4 is going to be massive, because if you're the 4th seed, you don't want to be coming up against the top seed, essentially. It's simple logic there. We're sort of all expecting Lausanne to be 1st seed, and how they've been playing, the only team that sort of wouldn't mind being 4th seed in this case would be E-LVETS, who have already caused an upset and taken down Lausanne. The others haven't, and they want to do as well as they can.
Yeah, and actually another factor that we've completely ignored in this one, Bacon, is actually this weekend, all the teams are playing from Switzerland. As you may know, I'm actually at LAN myself. I'm at Epic LAN in the UK, which is why you can see the change of backdrop. I haven't quite got the same curtains that I usually do every single week.
He keeps teasing me, chat. I'm going tomorrow, and he's there like, keeps digging into me.
Oh yeah, I've got your little lanyard. You see that? Digital Bacon. There you go. Esports media team. I'm still waiting for you, brother. You're coming down tomorrow. But no, obviously, I'm not the only one at LAN. These players are, I think most of them at the very least, are at Switzerland today. So not only are they going to get a nice a bit of a different environment to play from, but also they'll all be playing from LAN itself.
Yeah, we've known of
from the same LAN, I should actually say.
Yeah,
exactly what I'm talking.
We know of a lot of teams in the past that have really excelled in LAN environments. Just on top level, PSG winning DreamHack. You've got the Leftovers, who just broke all expectations. Coming into this, I'm expecting a very similar thing where we've got both Sir and E-LVETS here. E-LVETS, maybe because they've got that long time chemistry. They have played in, I would say, live next to each other environments before, which I don't expect from Team Sir. Maybe this is the boost they need to get that win. Just being next to each other every single, game, you just get a little high five or, a pat on the back, or if you're Jay, he slaps you around the back of the head. But that little sort of morale boost can be the difference for these teams.
Yeah, and also that sort of like that extra pressure knowing that your teammate's sitting right beside you, that could also be a crumbling force or at the same time a building force for either team. It depends on how the players are going to take it. So again, it could all change right here. This is completely different to last weekend. And it looks like we're about ready to jump in. We have most of the players. I think we're just missing one from the Sir side. And then we can just get... Yeah, RNZ we're just waiting for on Sir. So once he gets in, we can get started pretty much immediately here, Bacon. It's going to be a fun way to start the week, I think.
It is, definitely. This is going to be what I'm expecting to be the most... it's the most anticipated match for me because, like I said, E-LVETS been in that LAN environment. I reckon they're a team that have gone over the replays from last week to learn from it. If they can get the win here, I'm not counting them out. I'm not going to say they're a bottom half team for the rest of the season because it shows they've got that intelligence, they've got the willpower, the strive to improve in the second half, and they could do some damage and climb back up. You got to think it's just 2 wins a difference between being 6th or 7th and being 4th at the moment. 3rd currently has 5 wins, and then of course the top 2 have 6 wins. So it's not a big jump really. Teams like Arctic and Sir, today's wins still really count. Sir have got E-LVETS, which there's that little threat from below, and then Arctic have got Whiffmasters, and Whiffmasters have shown they can do damage if they're on form.
Yeah, I'd like to say that every single week is important from here on out. We're getting to the last few chances for most of these teams, and some teams, especially at the lower regions in that bottom half of the bracket and of the table, they're going to have to start stepping things up if they want to claim that spot at LAN. Only 4 teams will be going through to the LAN. So let's see whether E-LVETS or the Team Sir side will be one of them. Of course, it's kickoff here in our best of 5 matchup with Sir over on the blue side, E-LVETS on the orange. Here we go for game number 1. It's a nice kickoff starting off from Raptor Jesus, but Lupri and Otter are quickly in to try and take control. Mirror with an opening shot. Aku just gets back in time to save it. Give RNZ another opportunity as he comes through the interception. Nice redirect, Sir. Kick things off.
Yep, brilliant start there. Mirrorwing just hammering on the shots, one after the other. RNZ drops it down, and that is how you get things started. Just immediately put on the pressure off the kickoff. Do not give E-LVETS any breathing room to structure their plan, and I'm expecting them to come in with a plan today.
Wow.
What was that?
Mirrorwing set up off the kickoff. RNZ takes a little bit of credit for this one, but a double touch pitch. No one was expecting that from the E-LVETS side. Certainly the man in the defensive itself was not expecting whatsoever. So 2-0 on the board. A statement being put on by Sir. A kickoff going to the favor of E-LVETS this time, however. Ark is going to get a good shot off the backboard. Going to get defended by RNZ. Off towards the next offending player. Raptor Jesus tries to challenge in that orange half. RNZ challenging towards that midfield, trying to get it past Ossa. Can't quite do it. It's Mirrorwing. Dropping it down towards that corner. Raptor Jesus trying to and find the angle. Lupri misses his aerial entirely, and that gives Mirrorwing a perfect opportunity to pinch it past into the box. RQ challenge is a dangerous ball for RNZ, who gets it past two defenders. Not quite past the third. It doesn't matter. No one's in position. E-LVETS are going to concede a 3-0 in the opening minute.
So, they are so ready for this. That pass in, that block from Mirrorwing, so well placed, and then RMZ going for that 50-50 block to get into the net. Sir are playing on a whole new level. I do not know what they have done today to prepare for this, but it is working.
It's working indeed. Back and forth passing players. They keep the pressure up. Ball into that orange half. Mirrorwing going to pass in towards RNZ. It's a little bit too far wide. We'll just go back and get cleared away, but cleared right back from Raptor Jesus into that midfield. It's Ossa, the man to take control. Mirrorwing takes it back, defends the shot coming through towards that box. RNZ follows through another touch as well. RQ getting it past, actually, RNZ with a nice shot on target. Lupri just going to be able to save that one this time, so they're holding on. Keeping things together for the Sir side. Mirrorwing tries to dunk it down. That awkward clear, but fortunately the demo comes through from Otta just in time to save it. Not to save that one though. The passing play works. Mirrorwing is going to put 4 on the board. Sir looking dominant here in game 1.
This hurts. I don't know why Arku jumped off to the side there, Jay. Leaving that net open, that was a big error coming out from E-LVETS. The lads now 4-0 down. This is going to be a game all about recovery. I don't want to call it yet, Jay, but this could already be done with for game 1 anyway. And now, I would rather them just play this smart game where they try and feel out their opponents and try and look for any gaps in their defense, how to break down their attack. Because 4 goals. If you look at statistics, this has got to be something like 85% in favor of Team Sir to win this now.
Yeah, there is some ridiculous numbers going to the favor of that blue side of the court as we approach the halftime marker as well. Still 4 goals for E-LVETS to work up. And yeah, as you say, it's virtually impossible at this point unless they pull out some ridiculous clutch play and quick passings to go in towards that blue net. It doesn't happen. Mirrorwing gets that clear. Denies the opportunity for Lupri to take a shot. RNZ does get them on the front lines. That's something, but very quickly Raptor Jesus is recovering, and there's no one in the back. They all left it to the one man in the corner. 5-0. This is just a whitewash coming in.
Yep, good follow through there from Raptor Jesus. Just near enough block that. Defender not expecting, I think it was the pre. E-LVETS, they're just not ready. They just seem half asleep coming into this, making a lot of mistakes, which we do not expect from the lads, especially after the last couple of weeks. They have been turning it up.
They still have a half a match to go as well. Sir, keep this going. It's just going to add salt to the wound of the E-LVETS side. They take the control back into the passing play. Raptor Jesus chipping it up close, but Otta defends it. Putting a consolation for that orange side of the pitch, but still Mirrorwing up towards the backboard. Otta going to clear it away from the backboard. Raptor Jesus follows through. 60 HP, yeah. 60 boost, but still not enough to get to control of the ball. Still the offensive pressure coming in for the rest of the players. Just going to keep this one rolling in the orange half. And very few times so far the E-LVETS have had any real passing play opportunities or pressure play opportunities towards that back.
Well, you talk about boost there, Jay, just being HP, and for a lot of players, it is. Near enough, it's your lifeline. How you can recover comes down to how much boost you have in the tank. Also, your attacks near enough rely upon you getting into the air a good 50% of the time, and you need boost to do that. Speed is what Rocket League is all about, and the boost is such an important factor. You can see the pre there having 0 happen to come off the top of the goal. E-LVETS just not lining themselves up for boost. I can't see that they're majorly getting starved. They're just not grouping themselves around the pitch correctly on their build-ups. You can see the pre just straight behind Arku, when maybe just being in the center, picking up 2 boost pads, 2 little mini boost pads would have been the better choice there, because at the moment this is a very disjointed team.
Yeah, disjointed to say the least. Even on this defensive line, Lupri had no backup. Otta tried to take the play away. Mirrorwing just baited him. 6-0 on the board for Sir. doing well, to say the least, right here in game one. It is only game one, so as you're saying, the best case scenario for E-LVETS is just to kind of just think things through, decide to try so they can pick away some defensive later on in game two, but try and find the way to do it in game one now. This one seems to be a loss, but another shot coming through from Mirroring. RQ will defend it, pass it to Lupri in the midfield. Landing out a boost, can't carry it all the way towards the goal. Otter also missing his chance to keep it there. RQ, and Lupri faking it out. Good shot, defended by Raptor Jesus, and even on the defensive, Sir looked very, very good. Not letting a single goal in so far with 30 seconds left to go. It's all but a formality at this point. But they'll play it out. RNZ into the corner. Raptor Jesus with a shot. Defended on the 50-50 by Lupri. They may get a chance to clear it back in, score a consolation goal, get themselves that mental boost. But again, it's challenged. RQ, good shot inside to the box. Returned eventually by Raptor Jesus. Put away by Lupri to keep them from feeling any more embarrassment on that 7-0 scoreline, but it will still be a 6-0 right here for game one.
Normally, whenever we see these, you know, opening washes, Jay, the second game, it's very close, very tight, because, like I was saying, at the 4-0 mark, it was gone. Like, that's just how it happens. So, E-LVETS probably just let off, sort of went, okay, we're conceding this one. Let's just relax. Don't put too much energy into it. And so Team Sir got the 2 goals. We will say, though, in the minute and a half, Team Sir were able to get 4 goals. But for the last 3.5 minutes, only 2. E-LVETS were getting better on that defense, being able to close it out. That's good going into the next game. But they've got to work out how to put their attack on effectively. They got 5 shots in that first game, E-LVETS. None of them, apart from Arku's sort of aerial dribble, were convincing for me.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. It just didn't really look very confident at all. As you were saying, a very, very stilted E-LVETS side. Not looking great here on game one, and already losing the kickoff for game two. Mirroring almost scoring an early 4-second. Raptor Jesus comes in with a 6-second, but not going to be able to score it, fortunately, just for the defensive line. Lupri's actually going to return it and try go for a shot. RNZ again, keeping control away from the net, and everybody missing on the side of the E-LVETS side. RNZ with the ball on the backboard, going to allow Raptor Jesus to pass towards Mirroring. He tries to get it out, and actually does get a nice forward pass chip. It's RQ putting the pressure up, trying to find an opportunity. It does get returned by Mirroring for good this time, because RNZ is going to follow it through off the backboard. This is dangerous. It's inside the danger box, and Mirroring pitches it off the defenders. First blood drawn by Sir.
How many times have we seen this from Mirroring? Just these follow-throughs. Near enough setting it up, knowing that if he dodges to the left, Jay, that ball is going to bounce out into him. It is such a clever play to do. And it's one that also mentally deflates your opponent who, you know, you're thinking they're like, oh, I've got the save. Oh no, he scored off it. It just really hurts. E-LVETS doing a lot better into game number 2. You saw their attack. It was very good. Nicely structured, close-knit. But you could still see little up and overs. Those big clearances could hurt them there, so they've got to be careful in case of that.
Nice play back away. Raptor Jesus is going to be able to defend it. Otto goes off the backboard, tries to dunk it, but again they challenge 50-50. E-LVETS unable to get anything done, it seems. Over to the midfield, Mirroring challenging Arku. Once again off the backboard, can't seem to get it done, unfortunately. RNZ clearing it towards the midfield, Mirroring following through, now setting up the attack here. Don't directly in front. Can't quite seem to follow through. Again, so close on these positions for the E-LVETS side, but no cigar. And Sir sort of suffering from that a little bit in this offensive line. Still not 100% from either squad. Still that 1-0 to the favour of Sir, and they're happy to hold on to that to take the victory. Mirroring does put the solid buffer though. Nice pass in from RNZ, it's 2-0.
So you could see here from RNZ, because I was on board with him, he saw Mirroring just in open space. One defender near enough in front of him, and then the other one on the backboard. He had an open route to that net. He was just well positioned to receive that. And now, coming into the kickoff, we know how good Team Sir are. They're probably the most dominating team on kickoffs in this league. E-LVETS do not have a moment to let out.
Oh, but the demo play from Otter, just couldn't quite get it done. Too wide on the shot, and that really is tragic for E-LVETS. They just can't seem to get anything on this board here. They try, but the clears, the defensive comes through. The counter-attack from RNZ may almost go in just off the crossbar. Perhaps Jesus couldn't follow through towards the midfield. It gets cleared to the left. Now it's Lupri with that ball control. Can he get it to Arku? Yes, he can. He'll get a shot back, but defensive rotations so solid from Sir. At the half-time marker, it's 2-0. Another offensive play coming through from Raptor Jesus, gets it off the back foot, passed in towards RNZ. He's not missing that. Not today. 3-0 for Sir.
This is by far the best teams have ever played with each other. Everything connecting, working brilliantly. E-LVETS have stepped it up upon game number 1. But that has only encouraged Team Sir to go to a whole new level. These lads are now turning Super Saiyan or something, Jay.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you could say, where it's Super Saiyan compared to the rest of the weeks right now. All the way downfield, Raptor Jesus continuing to put boomer after boomer in. Nothing the E-LVETS can do about it, it seems.
He sees an open net and he's just thinking to himself, too easy for Jeezy. Raptor Jesus putting on such a fantastically powerful redirect to get the 4-0 in Team Sir's favour.
Mirrorwing put another shot on target. Oh, just saved by Arku, but that certainly would not have surprised me if that went in. And again, Sir, 4-0 in this matchup. It's getting into that territory where you might think, okay, this one might already be over. E-LVETS, how do you get back from this situation? Certainly with weak clears like that, it won't be the case because the passing play from Mirrorwing towards RNZ and Raptor Jesus getting a little bit of an opportunity. Will not be able to amount to the goal, fortunately enough, but still, it's like a 20 seconds gone. E-LVETS could have been using to play into the blue half. It's not going to happen. RNZ will score his second of game 2.
This is now just starting to rub salt in the wound here. RNZ just doing so good to beat the Pre. And again, it's another case of Otter, Arku, and the Pre playing really well, Jay. They're just getting beaten to every single ball purely by the speed that teams are able to pull out.
RNZ off the backboard one more time. Raptor Jesus setting up his third man. He's gone back for boost, and Mirrorwing just coming through for the challenge towards his midfield. Goes back to get a little bit more. Arku getting demoed out. Does take a little bit of mid presence away from the E-LVETS side. But again, it's all just a case of time wasting here for Sir. A little over 60 seconds on the clock, and then they'll be able to secure a match point 2-0 in this series. Otto gets demoed out. RNZ takes away a lot of the offensive pressure. Arku can come through and recover either. Lupri will certainly try for it, but no second player towards that mid position. RNZ, shot on target, going off the backboard, Mirroring to follow through. Just defended from Lupri's position. Otter also missing out, so RNZ will pass back to Raptor Jesus. Backboard touch, just going to get pushed out by Lupri, but still RNZ on target. Raptor actually keeps it away to go for the bicycle, out-styling it. That is dirty. At this point, it is just rubbing salt in the wound. Sir, so much more dominant here than last week.
Yeah, this is just absolutely popping off. Jay, if you're playing FIFA, this would be them in their inform cards, you know, those black ones, which everyone just wants so bad. Looking at this, everyone must want to just be, you know, a Team Sir fan, because this is just the top dogs at the moment. Essentially, Team Sir, who have dropped 2 games, if they were to play like this every single week, we might be thinking of them being the top team in the league.
Yeah, man, like they have the potential to do so. Obviously, that undefeated streak still fresh in our minds, and they may be able to set up another undefeated streak for the second half of the league play season. This is going to be a 2-0 match point gained by the Swiss Incredible Rebels. And they will, they'll just keep the ball away and make sure that there's certainly no chance for E-LVETS to come back into that one. Not like there was anyway. Looking down in the last 10 seconds and 6 goals to find, it's just impossible at that point. It's a statement made in those last 2 games. You kind of thought the idea that maybe E-LVETS outread and they came in with a game plan against the Sir side, but it seems like Sir did the exact same thing and they've just won up the E-LVETS on a level that I don't think we've seen so.
Yeah, that's it. Sir this week are playing in, well, last week they played still very quick, but it was more solo play based and a lot of physical action going on, Jay, to get those open goals so that they could score. This week, instead, they've gone, well, they retain their speed. I've already said it before, this is the fastest team in the league, speed-wise. But instead, they're looking for each other. They're going for passing plays. And 9 times out of 10, they are connecting, which is just unheard of for this team beforehand. This was a team that was very fast. Those passing plays where it just didn't have the best chemistry between them, just sometimes went a little bit of a miss, but they're able to recover from it because, again, that's speed. But now when everything is connecting, this is a team which could rival some of the top in Europe. This is a team which is scary. And if they could keep up this performance, big things are in order for them.
Yeah, major things. And again, you know, you kind of look to the same side of the Vet side. You know, we had the little video that went out last week about, you know, our predictions, and most of us said all same. But
I was the only one that did, sir. I will.
You're the only one that did, sir. Fair enough. But you know, now seeing them perform like this is, you know, certainly making me put them back into the picture for the victory at LAN in a couple months' time. Right now, this is absolutely insane performance from Sir. Once again, they kick things off back towards their favour. It's finally returned by Arku, who tries to outstyle his way towards a shot. Double commit from RNZ, and Mirroring will not be able to get the defensive for too long, because Lupri a little bit too low. The 3-man passing play commit. Once again, Arku will put it off the backboard, but that gives RNZ all the room to breathe. And almost a midfield defensive going wrong there for the orange side of the pitch. E-LVETS initially on the back foot, as once again Mirroring takes control into the net, into the box. It's Raptor Jesus challenging, and RNZ and all of the Manic will take the opening goal.
So E-LVETS are still yet to score a goal. They needed to come into this game free and get the opener. Instead, they've just now been bullied in the net, knocked about, and that pass out for RNZ was brilliant to sink away. 1-0, Jay. It's just been like deja vu again, buddy.
It really is. Mirroring, trying to take it into the midfield. It almost gets cleared and shot by RQ. RNZ does come back in with the defensive away from Mirroring's angle. Lupri passing towards Otter. Backboard touch could go well, but it's just pushed out the position either way. Lupri will find an angle. And that is finally E-LVETS breaking the cycle and equalizing here in game 3.
Look at this. Infield pass, Jay, to get the pressure on Otter, popping it. Not actually really going for net. He was looking for that backboard. Pulled out both defenders who panicked in that situation, and then a great follow through coming on in from Lupri to put that away. This is E-LVETS adapting, but they're still very much in hot water.
Yeah, they've got a lot more adapting to do, to say the least, right here. Mirroring takes the ball up into the orange half, clear at the midfield line from RQ. Raptor Jesus passes in towards RNZ, but doesn't find all of it right here. The ball's back in towards the centre field. Lupri finally clears it. Good pass towards RQ, but Mirroring intercepts it. Otter follow through back into the corner now. Raptor Jesus can't quite challenge for it. It's Lupri that takes that control. RNZ also with an awkward position. It will actually get fed away on the part of Mirroring. Challenging RQ to keep that ball in the midfield line. Lupri back out of position. Otter trying to pass it back, but RNZ intercepts back over to Mirroring. Dunks it down. Can't quite find the angling he needs though. Ball just remain inside that corner, but still RNZ passed in. Shot on target. Just defended by Otter.
This is now so much closer. You can definitely see it because E-LVETS looking to keep that ball closer to the ground and pass between each other, but the threat is still on. Raptor Jesus and co still showing that they have got so much in the way of mechanical skill and can just be a threat from anywhere.
Case in point. Backboard. They thought it was okay, but Mirroring very quick to wrap back around, and RQ was just like, well, geez, nothing. Even if that angle. Just a little bit higher, and he might have defended it, but nah, not today. 2 minutes 35 on the clock. 5 seconds to half time. Great kickoff start from Lupri and co. Okay, can he control the ball towards a goal? Not quite. Mirroring was able to hold on to it. RQ still going to continue the offensive pressure. Double touch it off the backboard. Second follow-up coming through from Otter. It's close, but just a little bit too far wide, going back off that post instead. Perhaps use Tanara and Zed into the corner. RQ going to keep it there. It's Mirroring. Takes it from that blue side pitch. Now gets it towards that midfield. RQ to receive, get it off that backboard, try sending it up, actually pass over towards Lupri. RQ still going to take a shot inland, but can't quite find the whole angle. The defense comes through once again for the side. Still Otter. Mirroring finally intercepting alongside RNZ. Raptor Jesus going for the boost right now, playing in the back lines. Ready to receive Lupri and RQ as they pass between them two, and Otter tries to get in the action. Can't quite do it. A lot more offensive pressure coming in from E-LVETS this time, but they've got to try and line it up towards a goal because we've seen how easy Sir can clear this and how easy they can set up a passing play of their own. And as well as that, Sir are still a goal in the lead, baby.
Yeah, that's it. All this pressure comes off the back of E-LVETS really needing a goal. There's no if or buts about it. They're one goal down here in a game they have to win, so they've got to start putting pressure on. Try and make it so their opponents aren't in their half and they've got the best chance they can of getting a goal themselves. Problem is they're being kept as midline so well by Mirrorwing Co.
So effectively. 60 seconds on the clock. A goal going to get put in just about no one. That's sweaty, if you will, but Raptor Jesus off that backboard Mirrorwing to receive the shot. It's 3-1 now to the favour of Sir.
Those passing plays beat the best of players. Just putting it behind, of course the defenders to jump at it because it's so close to being on target. Pops behind them, and then of course you have that second follow through. Like you said, Jay, a sweaty goal if you're playing FIFA. It's a well-known phrase. Rocket League, it carries on over.
More than 5 from that backboard, 50 seconds remaining. It's right now they try desperately on the E-LVETS side. They have reined it in for Sir. The defensive going so long as they can get control of the matchup because this victory here will push them up in the rankings. Shots on target. Raptor G is going to put it on target as well. Defended by Arku. Lupery gets it over towards him. Good shot inland. Not going to go to any one of the E-LVETS players. They pass and play back. Oh, nice redirect. RNZ off the crossbar. Followed up by Raptor Jesus. Lupery does defend it. But 20 seconds remaining. They've got to get a counter-attack going right now. Else this game is over and this series will be swept. Back in towards the midfield. Lupery will take control, but not for much longer. Trying to go for the aerial touch back in towards Otter. Good shot in target. There we go. Chance bought, but they need a kickoff.
Lupery here, I was super worried, Jay, because that seemed like a bump, just an opportunist moment to get up in the air. Not really sure what he's going to do with it, but clearly he was thinking 2 steps ahead. Makes the best out of it. 9 seconds, a kickoff goal is needed.
Oh, but the kickoff goes to the favour of Raptor Jesus. Lupery with a save. It's back into the corner. Oh, keep it alive. It gets cleared and no one's getting there. No. Still 75. Bruce going to try to keep control, but touches it a little bit too far forward. And the last chance saloon has disappeared for the boys on the E-LVETS side. It's Team Sir, a statement, a 3-0 sweep of epic proportions, high-scoring games, all to the favour of Sir. Just absolute insanity from that squad.
Yep, 3-0 to Sir last week, 3-0 this week. Sir have made the statement as the first team to do the double, J, to take down the same opponent twice. They put E-LVETS in their place, and Team Sir now match up with the rest of the big dogs, making it so they've got 6 wins now. They're looking good in the second half.
Yeah,
it's almost like they've got a second breath, essentially. Like they dropped off in the last couple of weeks, but here they've reborn themselves.
Yeah, and what a way to start off the second half of League Play as well. With Sir just coming out swinging, absolutely taking it to the E-LVETS side and looking like an evolution, essentially, of the same team from last week. They are absolutely insane, and that's a well-earned 3-0 victory. How many more teams can get the 3-0? How many more can get the sweeps? I think we're about to find out, Bacon, because our second match is going to be between Masters and Arctic. Again, last week they went 3-1 in their series to the favourite of Arctic. And join us after the break where we'll see whether the Masters can return the favour.